But let's take a look at the meeting between the Secretary of State of the United States and also President Marcos. What are you expecting from that? Is it said to strengthen the trilateral ties amongst Japan, the U.S., and the Philippines? Are you expecting deals here, or is this a mere overture?
It's a prelude possibly to a summit meeting in Washington in April, where the three countries, and of course, they're linked. The Philippines and the United States are, of course, treaty allies. Japan and the United States are treaty allies. The Philippines and Japan are security partners. And of course, the security partnership would be strengthened by, the possibility, the prospect of a reciprocal access agreement. So there's, of course, a chance that the three countries would discuss the prospect of, this is a term that's being used recently, minilaterals, or sometimes you use the term trilateral. So you have the U.S., Japan, Philippines trilateral security partnership.
But actually, we haven't confirmed whether Japanese Foreign Minister Yoko Kamikawa is coming. That's something that we are still verifying at the moment. But if it does indeed turn into a trilateral, what's the significance there for us, the fact that it's being held in Manila?
Again, this is just a preliminary negotiation. It's also symbolizing the fact that this trilateral relationship is focused primarily in boosting the Philippines as, of course, a treaty ally of the United States, of course, security partner of Japan, and, of course, a significant actor or agent in the Indo-Pacific region. Again, this is something that, of course, President Marcos raised last year during his intervention in the East Asian Summit. China seems to ignore the Philippines as an agent. China is basically looking at us as a puppet of the United States. So by holding the meeting here, the United States, Japan, and of course the Philippines is telling the Chinese the Philippines is an active actor in the Indo-Pacific region. You cannot simply ignore the Philippines as, capable of coming out with this agency, capable of implementing an independent foreign policy.
All right, Professor, we all know, of course, that the president is fond of showing off the Philippines and offering it for investments, foreign businessmen. As a matter of fact, he just came back from Australia. He just also came back from Central Europe, where he met with Czech President Pavel. Now, it also seems like he is currying support for our cause in the South China Sea. Would this be something that he is actively doing, or is this something just as a rote, diplomatically speaking?
Well, you have to understand, the president is not only the architect of foreign policy. The president, as the Constitution provides, the president is the country's top diplomat. So he's basically simply doing his job as the country's top diplomat.
As the Philippines' top diplomat, what do you think should be the asks of the president here? We're in the middle of, I guess, a very, very strategic position in Asia. Let's take a look at the EDCA sites for one. What have you heard that has been improved there? And also over in Batanes, your thoughts on the Navy recruiting more reservists?
Well, of course, it's strengthening our capabilities. Again, this is part of our effort to assert an independent foreign policy. An independent foreign policy could not be implemented if you don't have a credible military capabilities. EDCA, the military exercises under Balikatan that might be conducted in the Batanes and of course in Palawan are aimed to develop the armed forces of the Philippines into a credible defense force. So we have to back our diplomacy with a credible military capability. This part, given of course the dramatic changes that are happening in the Indo-Pacific region. Just look at what Japan did last year. Japan decided to increase its defense budget by about 2% of its gross domestic product.
Yeah,
and of course,
should we see
yes,
more joint patrols with the United States for one? Given the recent tensions in the West Philippine Sea, we already saw some Philippine crew getting hurt there. Shouldn't we expect more on that and seeing boots on the ground or in the seas?
Yes, and it will not just be bilateral, especially if Japan will jump in. We might see trilateral, and even then we bring in Australia. You could see even a quadrilateral military exercises or what they called maritime cooperative activities that's going on. This is part of course, also training the Philippine Navy.